Good morning, students. Welcome back to the social science class. We finished our first lesson, textual exercises and fair work. Today, we will move on to a new lesson. Okay? Okay, watch this picture carefully. With this picture, can you guess the name of the lesson? Here you can see trees, sunlight, solar energy, electricity, water, windmill, coal. Can you guess the name of the lesson with all these pictures, with all of these ideas? All these things we are using in our daily life. So, our name of the lesson is our resources. Already we finished history 1 lesson. Now we will start off a new lesson in geography, lesson number 14, our resources. Before we go into the lesson, we should know what is resources first of all. What is resources? A resource is something that can be used for a purpose. Anything that satisfies human needs is called resources. For example, fruits, vegetables, soil, minerals, even textbooks, phones, our currencies, all are an example of resources. In a simple way, if an object or a substance is usable, profitable, or beneficial, then it is a resource. For example, if we take trees, trees gives us fruits, vegetable, fresh air, medicine, everything. So, tree is an important resources for a human life. Resources are everywhere around the world, from the smallest needle to the biggest mountain. If a thing has a utility, then it is a resources. Now we will see what is utility. Before that, here you can see some pictures. The first one is minerals, the second one is money, water, fruits. All these are called resources because as a human, we are using it in our day to day life. So, all these things are called resources. Each and everything in the world, what human uses in his life daily, it is called a resources. Okay? Now, see this. What is called utility? Utilization of an object is called utility. For example, here I have given a picture. It is a vegetable picture. Vegetables. Suppose I'm buying a vegetable from the market and I'm going to prepare a dish. Okay. So that vegetable is a resource. That resource I'm going to make it as another dish. So I'm utilizing that vegetable for my need, for preparing a dish for me to eat. So I'm utilizing that vegetable. So this vegetable is a resource and I'm utilizing it in a proper way, in a planned way, in a convenient way. So this is called as utilization. Utilizing vegetable for my need. So this is also a resources. So resources depends upon the utility what the object is. But how does something makes or becomes a resource? Well, things become a resource only when they have a value. Here you can see the second line, usage gives its value. For example, vegetables all around the world, people are using it. So, vegetable has a value. Without vegetable, people cannot have a healthy life throughout their life. So, this is a value one. So, value is divided into economic value and aesthetic value. For example, suppose you're having a cold, you're suffering from a cold. In your home, your mother is giving home remedies for curing your cold. Okay, but the same cold, you are going to the medical shop and buying a medicine and you are getting it and you are having it to cure your cough. So, mother preparing medicines in the home, it is not going to cost much, it is not going to cost at all. But when you are going outside, when you are going to a medical shop and getting a medicine for some amount of money, it is an economic value. So a resource may have an economic value and aesthetic value depending upon its characteristics. Another example, suppose take sugarcane. From sugarcane, we are getting sugar as well as jaggery. So both are getting from a same resource, sugar and jaggery from the sugarcane. Sugarcane is also a resource. Sugar, jaggery is also another resources. So sugar has a different kind of value and jaggery has a different kind of value. Sugar is much cheaper than jaggery. So depending upon the characteristics of a resources, the value depends. Another one example, money. We need money in our day to day life. Without money, can you imagine a day in our life? It is very difficult to lead a life nowadays without money. Why we need money? Because we need money to buy food, clothes, shelter, housing, education, etc. But if it is all not there, money will have an exact value? Not at all. So each and every resources have an its own value. Now come to the next heading. Substances changes into resources when time and technology changes. Suppose an object, it is changing its texture into another one with the help of time and technology. For example, water. Nowadays, water are used for transforming into hydroelectric power. In the olden days, people imagined that water can be used as hydroelectric power. Not at all. So, water is discovered earlier, but now water as a resource, now we changed as a new resource for the hydroelectric power for consuming electricity from it. And take off another example, fire. On the olden days, when fire was invented, people don't know that it will be helpful for cooking in the future. Nowadays, fire is very helpful for cooking, fossil fuels, burning. and so many things. So, object or a substance is called a resource and it changes its characteristics when time and technology changes. Okay, now nature has gifted various things in our life: the food we eat, the air we breathe, the oxygen we get from the forest. All these are all the resources we get from the nature. As human civilization was changed and progressed, and the development of the technology and time changes, the humans, as a gift of nature, they change the gift of nature into their needs, to satisfy their needs. For example, soil was utilized to grow various crops. Waterfalls and minerals are also an example of resources. So each and every resources have its own value and its own characteristics, and it is very helpful for human for their needs. Now comes to value here. What value refers to here is worth of a product. What I already said, from the sugarcane we are getting sugar and jaggery, but with the characteristics. Sugar is different from jaggery, as sugar is much cheaper than the jaggery, and the value refers to here is worth of a product, and it depends upon the use and the utility of the resources. All the resources in the world, value it may has some value. It may be a larger or it may be a smaller one, but each and every resources what human is using is very important and helpful. Now, as we have seen about the resources, utility, value, what is called resources, what is called utility, and what is called value. The gift of nature becomes resources when the substances have utility, when they have a value, people have ideas or knowledge to use them as resources. People have technology or have created new technologies to use them. Now, here we have the classifications of resources. Here, resources is classified into three main categories: natural resources, human resources, and man made resources. Here, the types of resources are explained in detail in a flow chart. Here you can see resources in the center, and resources is classified into natural, human, and human made resources. Here you can see human resources and human made resources both are different. They are not similar. Human made resources are separate and human resources are a different one. I will explain it clearly later. And in the natural resources, again, natural resources can be classified into three main categories on the basis of origin, on the basis of renewability, and on the basis of development. Under the heading on the basis of origin, you can see two headings: biotic and abiotic resources. So, on the basis of origin, the natural resources can be classified into biotic and abiotic resources. And under the heading of on the basis of renewability, this is also classified into two different categories, that is renewable and non-renewable resources. And at the last one on the natural resources is on the basis of development. Under this, we have two headings, two categories: actual and potential. Here in the picture it is given as use. Here in the book you have on the basis of development. We have two headings: actual and potential resources. So resources can be classified into three main headings: natural resources, human resources, and human made resources. So in simple, what is the meaning for the word resources? Anything that satisfies human needs is called resources. Examples: now the phone what you are using, the textbooks what you are learning, the TV what you are watching, the musics what you are listening, the iPad what you are listening for the music, the chalk what you are writing, the pen what you are writing. All these things, all the things which was used by human, which is using by human, is called a resources. And a very good example, suppose take Reserve Bank of India. So Reserve Bank of India is the only bank in India who has the authority of printing Indian currencies, but they can print more number of currencies as they like and when they like and what they like? Not at all. RBI, Reserve Bank of India, they have only a smaller amount of foreign gold and foreign currencies which they can only make with that Indian currencies. With the help of that foreign gold and foreign currencies, we can print only a smaller amount of Indian currencies and so on. And see the next one. So we till this we have completed the topic resources alone, and the types of resources, the natural, human made and human resources, we will discuss it on the next class. Okay, here I have given home assignment: find out any 5 economic and aesthetic resources and mention it in what way it is useful to human. Here I have said about economic resources, uh, valuable, you are spending something for it, that is called economic value. And here aesthetic resources, aesthetic means it is natural, from it is a gift of nature. For example, mountain, garden, it is all about nature. Without money we no need to spend anything, we no need to for assure for anything, so that is called aesthetic. So here you are going to find 5 more pictures or an example or a resources for economic as well as aesthetic resources separately. Each five resources you are going to find it out, which was used by man, which is useful for man nowadays. And the second one is draw the flowchart for the types of resources. On the whole, at last you have seen the types of resources, all the three: natural, human made and human resources. So you are going to draw that flowchart as a home assignment. Okay, so we will see the next